Hey, what's up, guys? As usual, I've got another thing I kind of want to look at you here in the most recent Diamond Mine baseball game that we've played. So let's take a look at this here. It's not much of a game to talk about, right? The Giants win this one 5-2. Just the thing that I found so unusual about this is that Doyle laid for the Cubs through a complete game, despite giving up 5 earned runs. Throws 119 pitches. I guess you could say that his pitch count wasn't that high, but I'm surprised that they didn't take him out. I think I'll show you why here. So if we look here at the Cubs pitching, you can see that they have a whole bunch of guys who are at least theoretically available to pitch, right? You could have put in Cal McLish. You could have put in Monk Dubiel. You could have put in Dewey Atkins or somebody like that, right? The idea here is that, maybe you don't necessarily want to pinch hit. This is easier to see. Maybe you don't necessarily want to pinch hit for him too much earlier, but I would wonder in the 6th inning, when you have runners on, let's see, you had a runner on first and second with 2 outs after that, two singles, right? So you had Smalley hitting the triple for Bond, drove him home, and then Ramazzotti hit another single to put runners on at first and second. Kind of odd that you don't, oh no, I'm sorry, this is Walker here, right? But it's kind of odd, at least here in the top of the 7th inning, I guess I could say, that you don't take him out and try to do something to get some runs scrounged up. I mean, it's not like Lade threw an excellent game, right? I mean, he didn't pitch horribly, but he didn't really pitch that well. So there's a big question about this. But yeah, the other question that I have is exactly that, which is look at Ramazzotti. Ramazzotti gets 2 base hits in this game, a single in the 2nd and a single in the 6th. And what do? They pinch hit for him in the, the 8th inning. And the guy they pinch hit for with a runner on base ends up hitting it to a force out. That's the other question that I have, which is like, at what time are we looking at this and saying, like, what is it that the computer manager is doing here, right? So I know that in these games, you can't rely on momentum or anything like that. You can't say, oh, this guy's got the hot hand today or he doesn't. That's probably what you would say in real life. You'd look at this and probably think, oh, wow, this guy's, hitting really well today, or this guy's having a real poor game today or something like that. I know that in none of these simulations is that the case, unless you have some game that has some artificial system for that. But I have to wonder about this computer manager, why you're taking out a guy who's 2 for 3, who's been playing well. He's been playing well defensively. I mean, I don't think that he had commit any errors in this game. Well, the Cubs didn't commit any errors at all as a team, right? So you have no reason to take him out at third, other than, I suppose, wanting to let Gene Mauch play. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand what the reasoning behind that really is. I don't know. I don't fully get it. I mean, we can go and we can take a look here. Ramazzotti, how old is he? He's 32. I guess you could say that, yeah, maybe in real life, they take the older guy out and give Mauch a chance. Mauch's not a great third baseman, though. I mean, you would think that you'd want Mauch to play second instead of third. That's probably what I would want to do. You could have even had sort of an odd change here to try to get this changed over. I mean, you could have Ramazzotti go over to second. You could take Verban out and have Mauch play at third. You could have Mauch go to second directly for Verban, right? I don't really understand this, right? Now, I know that Ramazzotti, when you look at how he's playing so far in the replay, is not playing all that well. In real life, he was an even worse hitter. And I think that's one of the problems that we're sort of seeing here, right? Which is that Diamond Mine Baseball will focus a lot on what the real life statistics were as the computer plays through each game. It doesn't really pay that much attention to what's happening in the replay. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but there is a question here about, like, why not focus more on what's happening in the replay? Why not think at least a little bit about that? Talk about, because I mean, the play-by-play will talk about it. Why not think a little bit about, how this guy's been hitting lately, how has he been playing so far in the replay and stuff like that. That's the thing. So for me, when I'm not playing or when I'm playing these games and when I'm managing them myself, I'm thinking a lot about what it is that I think would happen in real life given this particular circumstance, right? I think a lot about what are we looking at in terms of, like, is there like a hitting streak going on, or is this guy seem to have a hot hand, or, is there some pattern that we're noticing with this team or something like that, right? I mean, in theory, not in theory, but in fact, really, every single one of these games is independent and it's unique. And so, we can't necessarily say that this pattern or that pattern is going to give us any insight into what should happen or what absolutely will happen or anything like that. All of that is fine, right? But if I'm playing a game in a replay, I want to feel like this is what we're really playing, right? I want to feel like it's actually, really happening. It's like the replay should come to life, as opposed to playing a game in a replay and being like, oh, well, this is all just based on real life stats. So every decision you make is based on what's happened in real life, not on the world of the replay itself, if that makes sense. So it's kind of an immersion breaking type thing. I haven't really looked deep enough into some of these other baseball computer games to see if the computer manager makes similar mistakes. But it just, at least for me, I prefer to have as much immersion as I possibly can. Love to know what you guys think about this in terms of immersion in the replay, and especially these types of decisions, because I personally think it's actually something that's pretty important. And we'll leave it at that. Talk to you later. Bye.